This is the Audi ActiveSphere, a concept car designed to show Audi's vision of the future for the more active among us. And get this car can actually transform.
It's the final sphere concept, hinting at the types of cars that Audi will build in the near future. The Skysphere was a two-door extending wheelbase roadster. The Grand Sphere was an example of a big luxury sedan, and the Urban Sphere was an MPV. Each was electric, each boasted the kind of tech we've been promised would be the future since the 60s, and each had a unique party piece. The ActiveSphere has one too. This four-door sportsback might look like a supercar crossed with an SUV, but at the press of a button, it turns into something a little different.
A pickup. A luxury pickup. This is definitely not the space for your muddy boots or your bales of hay. In fact, Audi say it's for your top-class sports gear. When the rear is closed, there's actually a deployable ski rack, and then when the rear is open, there's plenty of space for your Audi e-bike.
It's more than a beautifully upholstered Autobot though. It's been designed to actually go places. It rides on 22-inch wheels, shod in chunky tyres, capable of taking on all kinds of terrain. It can also raise and lower its ride height to suit whatever you're doing. It sits at 208mm, but can lift by a further 40 should you encounter a big rock, or lower by 40 for better on-road performance.
It's beautiful, almost imposing to look at. It certainly is in keeping with the other sphere concepts. A couple of points to highlight. These beautiful lights, almost feline in appearance, that make it look quite aggressive, and its suicide doors, which opens super wide for easy access to this exquisite interior.
Audi's designers have created an incredible space. All of the Sphere cars have been designed with passengers in mind. They're not cars focused on neck-breaking acceleration, but rather more on making sure occupants travel in comfort. In this case, the comfort comes with a side of minimalism. Its four seats are each attached to the centre console. They look incredibly light and sort of float in place. And because the seats aren't actually attached to the floors are entirely clutter-free.
I love all of this lava red interior. It's such a contrast to the very dark outside. It feels like a very warm well-being zone for the passengers, and there is just so much space. The ActiveSphere is, of course, a driverless vehicle. It's a concept, after all. So the steering wheel, the pedals, the dash all sink down and hide away. But you're not traveling in silence, because this whole front dash turns into a giant speaker. And then while you're sitting back and relaxing and enjoying your music, you can actually get a drink from the onboard bar. Where is my drink anyway? Check this out, this is really cool. There's this very large transparent grille so you can see the road ahead. And they've got the same thing in the doors with these windows at the bottom so you can see the sides. But if you do want to drive yourself, then you can redeploy the steering wheel and the dash comes up, everything comes back out, and away you go.
Will you want to drive it though? Well, ordinarily, absolutely yes. But in this case, perhaps not, because there are 4 augmented reality headsets on the ceiling. These let you see the world around you with additional virtual information to enhance your experience. For now, says Audi, the AR headsets offer information only, displaying an overlay of useful information which, when a certain area is focused on, will expand into more detail. With the headsets on, you can look around the car and control its various elements using only your eyes. Point your peepers at the AC controls and you'll access them. Same with the stereo. It'll also show you vital information about the car and the world around you using the likes of Google and Wikipedia as and when you want it.
So while all this tech might seem like a bit of a pipe dream, the platform this sits on is actually very real. They're developing it in conjunction with Porsche, and I'm told that there will be a road car built on this chassis in 2023.
In the active sphere, it gets a 100 kilowatt-hour battery attached to an electric powertrain that kicks out 436 brake horsepower and around 700 newton meters of torque, will do 0 to 62 in 4.9 seconds, has a variable top speed depending on what you're up to, and has a range of more than 370 miles. Its 800-volt architecture can take a 270 kilowatt charger, which means it will take 10 minutes to get 180 miles of charge and less than 25 to go from 5 to 80%.
Very fancy then. Should we care? Well, maybe not immediately, but I don't know. Let's see this as an amuse-bouche for things to come in the next decade. Granted, I'm not convinced that anytime soon we're going to see transforming Audis up and down every high street with passengers in their virtual worlds, but I don't know. I'm definitely willing to keep an open mind.